Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Louis Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom. We have a Sitzchok holding in Basra Daf Kuf Mem Ches. Let's get to the Daf. So the Gemara. Let's go back a few lines back, just to get into the sugya. The Gemara says as follows. Omar Rovo, Omar Rav Nachman, Shchimra Shoma Yadu Ployim Bebayze, or Yercha Ployim Peres Degelze. Shchimra says, I want this person to benefit from the living in this house. Not that he's giving the house; he's giving the living of the house. Or he's telling him he's going to enjoy the fruits of this tree. Lo Maklum Chirmar Tnu Bayze LePloyni ViOduboy Tu Degelze Ployim VeYercha Peres. He says until he doesn't say, give him the house, and he's going to live in the house. Give him the tree, and he's going to enjoy the tree. I have to give the actual object. It doesn't work. Second one, meaning, except the one thing, Rabbanan allowed, which is the kinyan. Meaning you do not have to do a kinyan by a shchimera. A shchimera is koine even though there's no kinyan. Everything else is required by a shchimera exactly like a bori, which means you need to have it needs to be something, an object. It can't be a usage. And any other halachas that are negea to a kinyanim apply by a shchimera as well. That's what we learn from here. So the Gemara of Rav Nachman, 1 second, we have a problem with this. Because Rav said in Rav Nachman, shchimera she'omar tnu alva'asi leploini. Shchimera says, give my loan to somebody. How also leploini? So he could transfer a loan. Avagav the lace of a bori. By a bori, you don't find such a thing. What does it mean by a bori? You don't find such a thing. You can't transfer a loan unless it's a shtar. A shtar you can give. You could give a loan, a shtar, a document that is a debt. A note. You give a note to somebody else. But if it's a milva baal peh, if someone owes, if Mendy owes me some money, and I tell give it to somebody else, there's nothing to give. I'm not holding anything. It doesn't work by a bori. By a shchimera, it does work. So it says the Gemara, you just say if it doesn't work by a bori, how can it work by a shchimera? Says the Gemara, Rapapa Omar, or you'll be Yoyish. So you're right. I'll tell you something. It does work. It does work. What do you mean it does work? It does work. There is such a kinyan of giving a loan to somebody else, not as a gift, and not as a transfer or as a kinyan, as a Yerusha. Somebody who dies, well, let's say it was a shchimera. Someone, L'Aleinu, dies, a sudden death. Does he bequeath to his kids the loans that are owed to him? Even milva peh? Of course, yes. So there is such a thing as transferring ownership from one to another in a milva. There's such a thing. So maybe we can apply that as well to a shchimera, even though you don't find the same type of kinyan. I mean, you can't give as a gift, but you find something similar. Of course, there's a by bori. You know when? So they call Mamet Shloshto. Mamet Shloshto means, what is Mamet Shloshto? When you have all three people, which means the lender, the borrower, and the third party. And if the lender goes to the borrower and says, I want you to give to the third party all the money that you owe me, so you can tell him that. It's called Mamet Shloshto. And even Bava. This is, remember the Gemara in Gittin, if you're Gimel, when the Gemara discusses, the Gemara is not sure if it works in Dvarim Shabbat Peh as well or not. It has to be a shtar. And the Gemara concludes that it does. According to what we learn right now, that's exactly the discussion of the Gemara. The Gemara had a problem. What do you mean? You never find a kid in Bari. So we do find it. Where? Mamet Shloshto. Even though Mamet Shloshto l'chur, it's not the Raisa. We said it earlier. It's something Rabbanan Misakeh for no reason. But because there is such a thing, or because there is such a concept, that a Bari can transfer ownership of a loan, at least with the Rabbanan, so also by Shchimera did the same thing. So then what you buy Dekel le'echod u'piroisav le'acher ma. Now this question is a little complicated. Also the Lashon of the Gemara, we have different nuschos, different yersos of the Gemara. Let's look at Lashon of Rashbam inside. How do Rashbam learns the question of the Gemara? Look at the Rashbam. The Rashbam says like this. It says the Rashbam, is the mukila b'bor. Some explain, talk about a bor. In general, if I'm giving to somebody a fruit, did I leave for myself anything or not? If I give someone a treat, they give something and leave it so or not. Early, says the Rashbam. Why are we here? It belongs to Moichas Asfina. There we spoke about a bari. We'll talk about a shchimera. What's the question? Learned in the Mishnah the shir karka kol shu matana matano. So we mentioned it passing before. We'll get to it later in the Gemara. The shchimera gives a gift and he leaves something extra. So then, even if he heals, what was going to happen? He will keep the matar as matar. If he does not keep anything, then he takes it back. This is the case the Gemara is going to speak about. He gave a treat to one, and he gave the fruits to another. Do we say, come on, in other words, wherever you have a leftover, you didn't give the entire thing to the first person. It's considered to be that you left something. Do we say that you left the fruits? Or not? And then the Rashbam goes another explanation. But we're not going to go. Let's leave this. We're going to focus the first answer of the Rashbam, talking about a shchimera. And by a shchimera, the shaila is he's gifting now a tree to one person, but he says, "I'm going to give the fruit to somebody else." When he's giving the fruit to somebody else, is he leaving for himself the branches of the fruits, or he's giving only the actual fruits to somebody else, but not the branches? If he's leaving the branches for himself, in other words, he's not giving it. So then to the first one, he didn't give the entire thing. He didn't give the entire thing. That's what the Rashbam wants over here. Again, the Rashbam is another explanation later.
Look at the lush of the Rashbam.
Yeah.
It's mashma that he changed his mind.
Yeah, he's just quoting Gemara Lakamon, which is the Kamina for that. That's what I was referring to. In other words, I want to know the first one, did I give him the whole thing or not? The Gemara is going to explain Lakamon, we're talking about Kamina, if he healed and he changed his mind. Does it work or not work? The first one you have in the cloud, if I have sheer karka kosher, you can't change your mind. So the shaila is considered to be the sheer karka kosher or not. That's what Rashbam wants. Tosis doesn't like the shot of the Rashbam. Basically, very similar to what the Rashbam does not like in himself, the first shot. Says the Tosis doesn't belong here yet. We're going to get to it soon. Soon the Gemara is going to discuss a shchimia, the sheer karka kosher, or sheer karka kosher. We didn't get there yet. Why are we bringing it over here? Therefore, the Taisa says this question is hemshech of the previous Gemara that we just learned. What was the previous Gemara saying? That when a person gave to somebody only the right to live or to eat the fruits, it doesn't work. You have to give him a mamashis. You have to give him either the tree or the house. So the shaila over here is when you give a tree to one, and instead of giving the fruits to the other, how do you look at it? Do you look at it that he's actually giving only fruits? They say no, he's giving him the branches. So he's giving him mamashos. Let's see now the Gemara says. He's giving the tree to one and the fruits to another. Mishir mokon piri or lo shir. Did he keep the place of the fruits or not? Good taste is very glad because that's what the Gemara said till now. I can't just give fruits. I have to give a mamashos. Did I give the mamashos or not? You want to tell me it's not a shear? Here we have different source. Argues so the Gemara is le'atzmoi chutz piroisamo. What happens if he left for himself the fruits? So according to the Taisus, means if he left himself the fruits, let's say for Shimon, he's not giving. He gives Reuben the tree. Shimon he gives the fruits. He's giving only the fruits and not the actual location of the fruits. So it really doesn't work because you can't give. You have to give him a mush. You have to give an actual thing. What about if he left it for himself? Maybe for himself it will work. That goes very nasty according to this. According to the Rashbam, that we're just saying Shir Kol Kakoshu, the use of the Bach brings here very nicely. He says, if he said Shir Mokapiri, it goes straight to Chutz Piroisov. Shir Mokapir, we're going to see in a moment. In other words, the fact that he adds more words, does that give him a kidney or not? So let's see the Gemara the way it's written by us. The Gemara says, you want to tell me if it's somebody else, not a shear, what's he left for himself? Give me a decal to one, which is basically similar, and the fruits are other. I didn't have a shear. According to the Rashbam, what's I have a shear? Which means it's considered to be the first one. He gave everything right away, and he can't change his mind, and he could change his mind. Or according to the Taisis, that he gave to the second one something which is mamashus. Mokoim lo have a shear mokapir dekel. Mokapir dekel achiv a shear purse lefanov. Knows he left it for himself. Similar question. He left for himself the fruits. Shear mokapir. He did leave for himself. If it's himself, he left the fruits to himself. Then he did leave the place of the fruits. My time called the gabein nafshei be'ayin mishayim. For himself, he's always going to do a better shear. So for others, I don't know. Others, it could be that if I'm giving a tree to one and the fruits to the other is not really fruits, it's the branches of the fruits. But, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a branch, maybe he didn't give only the fruits. But for himself, Avad is giving a little bit more, so he's keeping for himself the branches. We learned this concept from Shimon Lakish. Now, according to the Rashbam over here, the Hedgesh is, because he said, what was his Lashon? He said, the Lashon was, and then he said, he left Mokah Piradekel, and he shear Piroisav Lefonov, meaning he left the fruits for himself, and he added the words, I'm leaving the fruits. So these extra words tell him that I want to give him also the Mokah. Right, so according to, again, the Gesaris here are a little mebulbul how you say it, but simply you have your three stages. Stage number one is, if I give a fruit to somebody, that I leave the branches. Stage number two, if I left the fruits for myself, that I leave the branches. Stage number three, if he left the fruits for himself and he added the words, I'm leaving the fruits for myself. That extra words he didn't need to. And then the Gemara says, that connects to what? To Shimon Lakish. Homo Shimon Lakish, Hamoicher Bayis Lechaveir, Homo Loya Manat, Sheduto El Yon Shali, Duto El Yon Shaloi. Someone sells a house to his friend, and he says, but he's selling only the house. He's not selling the second floor. He's not selling the roof. And he adds the words, I'm leaving for myself the roof. Obviously, you're leaving it. Why should you think otherwise? Says the Gemara, if you left the house for one, and you gave the second floor to somebody else now, may I have a shear or loy? It's not considered to be a shear or not. If I leave one, give one a house and one a juta, I didn't have any shear, similar to what we said a second ago. Meaning he gave out the whole thing. According to the Rashbam, so he didn't leave anything as a shchimir. According to Toysves, meaning that he didn't, here you have to go, even Toysves will go with the Rashbam. Chutz with juta mao. If he added the words, what happens? Meaning he gave everything out. Chutz with juta have a shear. If he adds the extra words which are unnecessary, then it is a shear. Meaning, according to the way the Rashbam learns the sugya, we're talking about here is these extra words are what giving you the ability to have more. Why did you add the words? Why did you say these words? I said the words. The reason I said the words is because I'm adding to myself more. What am I adding? I can be moitzi zizim. I can be moitzi beams out of the second floor. Not only I'm leaving the second floor myself, but I'm also giving myself the right to stick out beams that will go out to the chutzner. Why? Because why did I add the words? In fact, I added the words for that purpose. So Achanami, the question you say the prayer this is not, but if Achanami the Homa Chutzi Parisa Mokapir Shir, that has to do back with the Gesaris. Was this the question of the Gemara or not? And we learned the Gemara the way it's written by us. The Gemara is just adding, whenever you have extra words, it gives you more than what we saw before. Says the Gemara, person who wrote Now we get into the sugya of if you leave out something or not. He gave everything to multiple people. He gave to Reuben, Shimon, and Levi is the chosr. Right. Im b'mechalek meis kon kulom omad chorz b'kulam. If he's giving everything to everybody else, b'mechalek means he's giving out everything. He's giving Reuben a third, Shimon a third, Levi a third. So he's giving everything together. So if he dies, they get it. That's called Matas Chimyon. But if he gets up, because he didn't leave anything for himself, he can take it back. That's always the rule by Shchimera. If a Shchimera gave everything out, he can change his mind. Right? But in Benimlach, what's Benimlach? Benimlach means that he was hesitating. He gave it to Reuven, and then he said, actually I'll give it to Shimon, actually give it to Levi, as we'll see in a moment. So then, Meis Kone Kulam, if he died, they're koine, because he gave it, even though there was a shiur. Meaning what? Everybody else, he gave the entire thing. So if I said like this, I'm giving Reuven everything. You know what? Actually, I want to give Shimon some of the stuff. Actually, I want to give Levi some of the stuff. The last one is getting only a portion. That's called to be sheer. They can change his mind. Everybody else is getting everything that's there. Look at Loshua Shmuel. Shmuel says, in Benimlach, in the right left side, the left side towards the top. After he gave, so he began to give something, and then there wasn't planned to give more, and then he gave more. Whenever you give a gift, I said it wrong in the translation, just to go back to this. And whenever you give a gift, and it's not 100% of the properties, of the assets that he owns, whenever you give such a gift, so then he could change his mind. If you give, he could, once he gets, if he heals. If he gives away everything. If he gives away everything, he catches his mind. If he gives away partially, he cannot change his mind. So if he gave Reuven a portion, a third, and he did not give it the same time right away to Shimon, he was thinking about it, then he said, I'll give it to Shimon too. So Reuven, there's still something left. Shimon, still something left. Levi, there's nothing left. So by Levi, he gave everything, he could change his mind. Reuven and Shimon, he can't. But if it was a one shot, so nobody there's anything left. Right? Because he already gave Reuven a third, he gave Shimon a third, and now he's giving him the last third. What? So he's giving him everything that's left. Whenever Shchimera gives everything left, so that's what it is, right? Something one second, who said that it's considered to be that he changed his mind? Maybe that's what was his intention all along. Maybe he wanted to give his third to Reuven, third to Shimon, third to Levi. When he gave third to Reuven, he was thinking a little bit. And then he continued on in his thought process. The next third goes to Shimon. The next third to Levi. Who said it's changing your mind? So the Gemara starts with the Shchimera Medek died Rada Yoiv. We assume usually a Shchimera, he does not hesitate. When he gives, he knows what he's doing. So the Shchimera gave all the nechos to everybody, and then he healed. He doesn't go back. Why? What do you mean? We just learned if he gives everything, he could change his mind. No, maybe he has assets somewhere else. I don't know. So I'm not. I'm not giving it back. But the Mishnah says clearly that if he has nothing left, he can change his mind. The grace of the Bach is he said clearly, I'm giving everything. One way to understand it is he said, I'm giving everything I own. So even if he has, that didn't say I'm giving you this and that. I'm giving you everything.
So how does that fit with if I give it 3 different?
No, it's another case.
It's the same as if
Yeah, you can say.
all my properties, but I designate.
And it will be the case. He said, I'm giving Reuven a third of my properties. Shimon a third. Not specified. I'm giving you Lawrence Cedars. I'm giving you a third, whatever I own. Third, whatever. So we find another asset in Australia, that will be also third. So the Gemara, we know, we checked it out, we researched him. There was a title search on him, we couldn't find anything else. So the Gemara, if he changes his mind partially, it's considered to be that he changed his mind for everything or not. Meaning, right? Look at Losh Rashbam towards the end of the narrow lines. He changed his mind a little bit. Then he gives somebody else. Right? We know that a shchimera can change his mind. Right? The yatki means that what a shchimera gives can change his mind. Is he changed his mind completely? The fact he's showing I'm giving to Shimon means he's giving up on Reuben completely. And then it's considered to be a mator miktas. The also Yoshim after Adisha Kolamosi, you go to the Risha, take everything back. Or lo have a chazara. In other words, what are we talking about? He gave to Reuben his nechasim. Then he says, you know what? Actually, the house and Lawrence I want to give to Shimon. Doesn't mean so whatever he gave to Reuben is void. He just canceled everything and he's giving Shimon something. Or he's only taking from Reuben the house and Lawrence to give it to Shimon. But everything else stays by Reuben. And the Minaf Kivin Rashbam says, is it considered that he gave everything? Or no, only a small portion to Shimon. Says the Gemara, Toshma, Kulam Larishoin, Umiktoson Lasheni. He gave everything to the first and a partial to the Sheni. Sheni Kana, if you know what we're talking about, Sheni Kana means if, simple understanding, we're going to get to that in a moment. If the L'chura Sheni Kana when? After death or before death? So one understands right now, well, let's see in a second. Sheni Kana, the second one was Koine. Rishon Lo Kana. The Rishon is not Koine. That's what it says. Meaning he actually died. So whatever he said to do will happen. And we say that only the Sheni is Koine, not the first. Why not the first? He gave the first one everything he has. And then he gave the Sheni the house in Lawrence. You say the Sheni is Koine, not the first. That means he changed his mind from giving the first. So we push it our suffix. Says the Gemara, my love b'shemes loy b'sholmat. No. If he died, everything goes to Reuben except the house in Lawrence. It goes to Shimon. But if he healed, so then Shimon got only a portion. Reuben got everything, right? So the Sheni is koine. He can't go back. Reuben that got everything, he could go back. Look at the next part. Let's say the opposite case. To the first one, he gave a portion. To the second one, he gave everything that's left. Or he gave everything. The first one is koine, sheni loikon. What's the case? He gave Reuben, that's the opposite case. He gave Reuben the house of Lawrence. Then he gave to Shimon everything else that he has. So he didn't change his mind from Shimon. Shimon was the last one. So clearly he gave everything to Shimon. So then you say that Rishon is koine if he healed. Rishon is koine, Sheni is not koine. So if you explain, we're talking about he healed, it makes sense. He healed. So the Rishon got only a portion, so he can't change his mind. Shimon got everything that's left, so he could change his mind. So you say Rayo that we're talking that he healed, but there's no Rayo. What happens if he did not heal? If he died? Okay, let's assume he did heal. Heal Mishama Chazor Miktazav Chazor Bekulo. You already tell me when he changed his mind from one, so he completely removed the original gift. So I understand why the Sheni is koine. Because the Sheni got a portion, right? And the Rishon had nothing. So the Rishon, let's go back to the first case. He gave the Rishon everything. Now he's giving the Sheni the house in Lawrence. If he didn't change his mind, there's nothing left. Right? He took away from Reuben the house in Lawrence, give it to Shimon. But is there anything else left? No. The rule is if he heals, if it's nothing left, he can go back. So why are you saying he can't go back? Elamai have to tell me they changed their mind from Reuven. So Reuven doesn't have anything. Shimon has only the house in Lawrence. So he has a lot left. That's what I say. Let's assume he healed. Changing mind a little bit. He's changing mind from the whole thing. I understand why. I understand why the shane is going. Eliyahu chazor miktzah v'chazor. He didn't change. He didn't go back. Now we can mechalek ulechad minar lo liknu. But that's mechalek. Mechalek means if I give to the Rishon a third and the sheni a third and the shlishi a third together, it's considered to be all together. And he changes his mind. So the Gemara says, if you have a very good raya, the once you change your mind, it's completely void. Someone who changes his mind from a little bit, he changes his mind from the whole thing. Like we said before, he gives Reuben that everything, Shimon gives the house of Lawrence, Reuben has nothing. And then, how you can explain the Brayso? The beginning works, say if he dies, say if he didn't die. Why? Because he changed his mind. So the Risha gets 0. And the Sheni gets the house. If he died, he gets the house because he gave him the house. If he's alive, if he healed, he gets the house because it's Batorah B'Miktsas. The Sefer that says that the only the Sheni is Koini. Only the Risha is Koini. And not the Sheni is when he healed. That's what the Risha who got only one house and he was a Batorah B'Miktsas, he keeps it. The Sheni that got everything that's left, he does not keep it because it got Batorah B'Miktsas. In other words, the more is beside with the Bryce in a way to go with his rules they work with, that basically 2 rules to explain the Bryce, and then we know the Bryce clearly. One is if a Shemira gives something small, not the whole thing. If he heals, he can't change his mind. He gave the whole thing, he could change his mind. That's clear in the whole sugya. Second thing is, once he gave to the first one everything, and afterwards he went to the Sheni, it says, I'm giving you one house. He took away from Reuben everything that he had. Everything. Not only the house, everything else as well. Says the Gemara, the last part of the Gemara for today. Person, we learned Shchimera gave a gift to everybody, and then he healed, he changed his mind. What happens if he didn't give it as a gift? He gave it as a hegdish. So what do you say? By hegdish, he probably wanted to give it even though he heals. You say no, a person for himself, he's never giving up everything if he heals. So what about hifkir kol nechos? The fact he's giving to the poor and rich alike, so he really means to give it. For himself, he's not going to leave himself empty-handed. What about the third case? He gave it to the poor for tzedakah. I'm assuming he gave it. Or it never leaves something for himself. So the Gemara takeoy. More means a loshan acher. It's another loshan. So here, just to end it, and this will end. What is the Gemara saying? We have here 3 svekis. He did Agdish. Maybe now he really means to do it. He did tzedakah. Maybe now he really means to do it. He did Hefker. Maybe now he really means to do it. Why? Bishwa Hegdesh, big mitzvah to give money to Beis Hamikdash. Tzedakah tatzah yimavis. But he did Hefker. See, what is Hefker? Hefker means whatever I have is ownerless. Of course, he didn't mean it if he's going to become healed. He's going to heal. Why should you want to do it? The face of Engel in his sefer called Asvas Asvas Raisa speaks about. Says Klal Yud Zayin says has a chakira over there. He wants to establish that hefker is a mitzvah. He brings many rayas to that. He's a medrash. Hefker is a mitzvah. Why hefker is a mitzvah? It's a chesed. I'm giving my nechosim to people to enjoy, and everybody can enjoy. So that, and he brings a raya at the end of the Klal, a raya from our Gemara. The hefker is a mitzvah. Why? Because what's the subject of the Gemara? Elamah says you have hegdish, which is a mitzvah. You have hefker, which is a mitzvah. And you have a tzedakah, which is a mitzvah. They're all mitzvahs. So mitzvah, maybe a person is willing to give more, the Gemara has a sfeikis. And the cheshbon is what's the order of the sfeikis. You can listen in Shom Achshav on the daf. It was already recorded and will be posted later tonight. Kol Rabbi says